knows more than anyone about the history of Los Alamos. Jeremy Corbell is shedding light on some of those mysteries in a brand new documentary about his investigative career, Sleeping Dog. In this clip, he uncovers documents from a late Los Alamos official who reportedly referenced atmospheric anomalies and classified UFO studies in these files. Watch.
Where is this from?
It's from Los Alamos National Laboratory.
Your dad died, right?
He did. He passed away about a month ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. My dad died too. What was your dad's position and why do we find this interesting?
He was in charge of all computer and cybersecurity for the entire laboratory.
Sleeping Dog will be released on May 12th, but joining us tonight is investigative journalist and documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell. He's also co-host of the Weaponized podcast. Jeremy, congrats. Great to talk to you again. We're going to get to the documentary in just a second, but you've been pushing for years for more UFO transparency, and tonight, like literally right before we came on the air, President Trump says he's directed the Pentagon Secretary Pete Hegseth to release the UFO files. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that President Trump he probably got exposed to these videos kind of in real time. So the fact that he is asking for Pete Hegseth to put those videos out to the public needs to see these videos. I have been exposed to a number of them. In fact, as you know, Elizabeth, I released video number 2 with George Knapp. We obtained and released that video of a UAP filmed by our military. It was in Syria, 2021. It was filmed by a Reaper drone. It's not what you're showing on screen right now, but it demonstrated instantaneous acceleration, and that was their determination, their examination of this UAP. So I really hope that President Trump, I know he means it, so we need the Pentagon to do what he said, release those 46 videos to the public, not just to Congress, so they can tell us about this extraordinary technology.
Yeah, Congress has been frustrated about being denied access to the files, much less the public. So it would be great if both Congress and the public could take a look at this, as he has promised now. The White House also said today that the FBI is looking into a string of missing or dead national security insiders. You know, I keep thinking this has got to just be coincidence, but it really is remarkable how many of these people disappeared or were found dead later in very, very similar circumstances.
Yeah, so it is concerning. We do need to be careful. There are cases in there that are really important, like the general who went missing. You know, he didn't just walk off. I'm hoping it's not a foreign nation. I'm definitely hoping it's not anybody within our nation. But there are certain cases within that I think are worthy of our investigation. The one with Amy, I knew Amy very well, and her parents, Kathy and Richard, they made a statement that scientists died, and not to make too much of this. That's a tragic event, but people should look into Matthew Sullivan. He was scheduled to testify in front of Congress, and Rep. Burleson came out and talked about this. It was deemed credible and urgent because of the suspicious suicide. And I think people need to look into that. The FBI is involved, has been involved for quite some time.
Okay, we just played a clip of your new documentary called Sleeping Dog. In the clip, you're talking to the son of a former official who was in charge of cybersecurity at Los Alamos. He had a treasure trove of UFO files. What was in them?
Yeah, well, look, this is not unusual for me. I've kind of become the clearinghouse for people that have sensitive information regarding UAP. And sometimes when people pass away, you know, their family members do reach out to me. So in this movie, which I did not make, by the way, this movie was made by Michael Lazowski. This movie is really about journalism. It's about First Amendment. It's about freedom of speech.
Okay.
And in those documents was absolute proof that the government has independently been studying the UFO phenomenon for decades, looking at and covering up the fact that they're looking at the origin of these craft and the pilots themselves.
I'm being told that by our control room that we are completely out of time. So this is what you call a tease. Jeremy, I'm begging you. You have to come back on the show, and we will have part 2 of this interview because I want to hear your answer to these questions. Jeremy Corbell, thank you so much. We'll be right back.